Hey everybody, how we doing? Chase here. So I've done walkthroughs of other exchanges before. I'll try to make this quick as I usually do. We'll talk about the features of the Bybit platform and what I think about it overall. So first off, we can see here, obvious, trading view integration. That's very nice. We have our positions, P&L, active, what's been filled, our order history, all that's great. Contract details, you can see the funding rates. And we also, of course, we have limit, market, and conditional, which we'll go over in a second. They also have the 24/7 technical support, which is great, and they've been very receptive. I'll say that from the start. They've been very receptive to feedback. I know initially when someone had talked to me about Bybit, I said look, without seeing reduce only, having reduce only limit orders, or without seeing close on trigger for stop market orders, or on how they would say it, I guess conditional orders. It's really not something I could utilize, and that stuff was in there, like 3 weeks later. So they're definitely really listening to feedback, and that's great. And overall, I mean, when you move the depth up a little bit, unless you're a very, if you're a big size trader, perhaps you would have to consider some liquidity issue maybe, but for the most part, seems perfectly fine for the normal trader. Okay, so let's go through here. Here's your limit. Obviously, here's your leverage. If you're used to using, say, cross leverage like the BitMEX feature, that's just throw it on 100x and you put on your auto margin replenishment, and it says what it does. When enabled, once the market price reaches your liquidation price, the system's automatically going to add margin from your available balance. Okay, obviously this isn't my real account. I'm just on a dummy account, so I have no balance. But every time your liquid be hitting, it's just going to add margin. So that's basically your cross function. Otherwise, you have your isolated margin here as well, or I'm sorry, your isolated leverage. Easy to use. Makes it a bit simpler sometimes, but yeah. All right. So let's get into the orders, right? You want to set a limit order. We all know it's the most simple thing. You set your order price. So let's say you're looking to get long. Let's just do this. Say you're looking to get long at 10,000. Okay, and none of these numbers are reference to the current price action or anything of that nature. I'm just taking numbers off my head. Say you want to get long at 10,000, right? So you put 10,000. Contracts wise, let's say you want to trade 1 Bitcoin. So if you want to trade 1 Bitcoin, then that would be 10,000, because at 10,000 contracts at a price of 10,000, you're trading 1 Bitcoin. You want to trade 2 contracts. 2 Bitcoins, that's 20,000 contracts at a price of 10,000. If the price is at 13,000, it's 26,000 contracts. Okay, quite simple there. Now, post only is another great feature. Okay, so you'll be using post only if the price is very close, right? So right now the price is 12,825. If you want to get in at 12,824, but you want to make sure that you don't mark it in by mistake or anything, you put on that post only. So you're guaranteed to be not fill as a market order and pay the extra fee. Okay, reduce only, that is for say you're already in a position. Okay, so I'm in a long position and I'm looking to sell my long position at say 14,000. Okay, I check the reduce only button and I set it to 14,000. Okay, so 14,000, reduce only, sell short. Now I'm going to close that order, and what will happen is if my stop loss gets hit, which we're going to use a conditional close on trigger checked on stop market order. Okay, this is how you're going to set up your stop loss. If this gets triggered, this reduce only order is not going to trigger. Okay, before we get to that, let's go over the market real quick. Market is very simple. You're either marketing in, or you're either marketing long or market short. Just make sure you have your stop loss set up ahead of time. Obviously, you can't use the slider here because it's going to buy at market. It's going to go directly into the market and buy from the book. Okay. Move over to conditional now. Conditional, typically when I'm doing conditional, I want to use market orders for conditional. And let's go through the 2 different types of conditional orders you might be looking at. The first one we talked about was a close on trigger, stop market order here under the conditional tab. So let's say we're long from 13,000, right? And we want to cut our long if it breaks below 11,200. So right there we have our quantity, and the market, it's going to trigger a market order and it's going to close it at 11,200. It's going to trigger right there and mark it into the book all of our contracts and get us out of the position. Okay? Now, if you take close on trigger off, what it's going to be utilized for that point is playing some type of a breakout, right? So let's look at the chart here. Say we wanted to run a conditional order. We want to buy 20,000 contracts when it breaks above 14,000. Okay? So 20,000 contracts, and when it breaks, so 14,000.5, when it breaks that 14,000 number, no close on trigger because we're opening a position here, buy long, and then it's going to buy from the book right when the price hits 14,000 here. Okay? That's the other use of a conditional market order. Make sure you're being careful with that, okay? That's the type of thing that if you don't understand what you're doing, you can get into some trouble with that, okay? Besides that, I think we covered just about everything. Yeah, I talked about the TradingView integration, the auto margin replenishment. We got the 24/7 chat. The UI is really clean. The limit market conditional, we have everything we need. We got close on trigger, we got post only, we got market orders, we got limit orders, we got reduce only. Pretty much everything is covered here, okay? So hopefully that was a quick walkthrough of the Bybit platform and it's helpful to you. If it was helpful to you, I'll leave my ref link in the YouTube comment. Okay, thank you very much everybody and have a great day.